Hey guys, it's Michelle with Michelle Creations. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. Today we're going to share or show you how to do the signatures. So if you're new to junk journaling, I interpret signatures like chapters of a book. I think that's like the easiest way to explain it. It's basically a collective number of pages that you want to group together to refer to a signature or chapter of that particular book, and you can arrange your signatures, aka chapters, in whatever order you choose. I prefer to keep my book story in order. I prefer to also incorporate my book story because it's small into my signatures. You do not have to do that at all. You could just do certain pages. It's totally 100% your decision. And that is the beauty of junk journaling. There is no right or wrong way. There's no correct answer. It's basically how your brain functions and how your brain wants to compute your craft, your art. So in the last video, I basically shared with you how we deconstructed the book, how we created the fabric spine and make it more of a moldable, squishy, bendable spine, however you want to interpret it. If you did not see that book, if you did not see that first video, you definitely want to check that out if you are starting this process. But if you basically know what you're doing and you just want to see the things that I do in regards to creating and putting things together, by all means, that's what this video is going to be about. So in the last one, we ended where I basically took out the stitched portion of the pages. I did explain, sorry for the extra noise, I did explain that I measured out my book. I had measurements that I shared with you in that video, and I will put them here on my board before I start cutting. But my book, which is still drying because I'm recording these videos one after another so I can get them to you guys. So my book width is 5 3/4, and then my height is 6 7/8. That's the book I am working with. And I initially had put together what I wanted the inside of my book width to turn out to. I am one that I like to have my pages be on the inside of my book, but if you want them to be overhang or on either side, you definitely want to take that into consideration. I like adding ribbon or flare to the side of my pages, so that will extend my book out. So that's why I'm keeping that within that time frame measurements, I mean. So I made a little note here that if I'm working with bigger sheets of paper, which usually I do work with 12 by 12 sheets of collections from companies, I know that I want them to be 11 inches unless I want to create flips, flaps, and all that good stuff. So we're gonna do that today in this video. I actually remeasured the book when I closed it, and it actually is a little bit bigger. It's actually 6 inches now. So I'm gonna change this to be 12 inches wide and 6 inches. Again, because my spine is bendable, it's not going to be a straight back. That is why I'm doing that. If you're working with a straight back, and if you don't know what I'm referring to, definitely check my first video where you want to use a thicker chipboard to make that stronger. 6 3/4 inch tall is what I'm working with, because again, I like to keep it within my book front and back cover. So that's what I want to keep that comment measurement to. But if I want to create pockets, I'm obviously going to need a taller paper so that I can use that paper to fold up or sideways to create those pockets, and I'll do those as well to show that to you because that's what this video is going to be about. And then down here at the bottom was just showing you the spine, so that was covered in the first video, so we're not going to go over that and waste your time. So just something to know, I like to have things off to the side. I'll try to keep that in frame, so if you zoom in on your screen you could definitely see that. But this kind of helps me just as I'm moving through the paper. I'm not stopping and measuring, and I just basically use whatever paper cutter, trimmer you like to. I'm using a Cricut brand, but there's tons of them out there. So we're gonna get started, and let's just dive into it. When I am choosing the collection that I want to use in my make for junk journaling, because I always like to incorporate a collection. Again, just my decision. You do not have to at all. I try to look at the colors that are in here and try to gauge as to, by memory if I can, what collection I have on hand. Now, as I mentioned in the first video, I do want to make this into a baby book. My friend recently had a baby. He arrived sooner than expected and there was a little bit of complications, but mom and baby are great. They're actually now home, which I'm very grateful for. And so I thought it would be a cute thing to kind of give some feminine touches along with masculine touches, because she did have a boy. And so I went through the only 3 collections I had for baby boys, and I found this one. I felt like, although there are strawberries on the front cover, that would be your feminine touch, I felt like some of the colors on the inside with a little, I think it's like a lilac color. You don't really find a lot of blues, but you know, blue we associate with boys. I felt like well, I guess there is blue, but not like a tealish blue. I kind of wanted to pull the colors in, but not be exact. So I felt like this one that I found that I had in my stash from Echo Park called Sweet Baby Boy would work perfectly. Again, I don't use all the paper. I just want to have a touch of it. Also, this collection has this 12 by 12, 1 month through 1 year. And I kind of want to incorporate something that I saw some YouTuber show on her junk journal options, which I'm going to share with you what I learned, and then her channel as well. So if you want to check out her channel, because I thought it was like a lot of good information. Creating, I want to call them journal card sheets is my best way of explaining it to you, where each one has a number on the front, and then when you kind of unfold it, it has places where you can add photos or do journaling, so the mom can give the child as they grow up, when they 18, older, whatever, she can gift it to him if she wanted to. And it would basically be like a month kind of in review kind of speak. So that's what gravitated me to this one. It also has some animals. Of course, there's no bunnies on here, but you know, you don't have to be specific. But I just felt like these colors were very muted, and I felt like it went well. So I do have 2 collections in here in case something happens where I mess up on a page. I have another one to work off of, so I'm just gonna pull one of the collections out. So we have that, so we can work with that one, and then put that on the floor. And then I also went through my cardstock packs. Now, this is from Paper Studio, which is Hobby Lobby. This was when they were on clearance last year in 2025. But I usually gravitate toward Michael's brands now that Joanne is no longer in existence. We only really have 2 in-house paper options, but obviously this is just, again, my choice. But I like to have, when they go on sale, a variety of these variety packs, because you can definitely see I can pull some of these colors with the paper collection I chose, along with if I wanted to incorporate purples, which are not in the collection, but maybe in the book. That's where I'm tying that purple in. Again, I don't use a lot of these papers. It's just maybe I will use it as a tag, or, you know, something where you can journal on to put inside of the book. So just little tidbits I wanted to share with you before we completely dive in. And then you kind of want to go through your stash. Now, when I say stash, I'm referring to anything you feel in your definition means junk journal. I personally go to a lot of different options, and I'm just going to share some of them with you so you can kind of understand my definition of junk journaling. It can be envelopes. Again, Paper Studio, that's Hobby Lobby. This was a clearance option. I think this was 2 years ago, if I'm mistaken. And again, it has all these colors, which similarly match the 2 collections. So I pulled this one. Again, I wanted to be careful with my sizing, because I don't want it to be too tall, so I have to cut it down so it fits perfectly in my book. So I pulled that. I also pulled a whole bunch of other stuff. This I found at the dollar store. So this is just basically writing paper. Now this is very thin. So that's something you have to think into consideration, that you may not be able to embellish this so much in regards to adding, what do you call it? Like charms and stuff to it. So this would basically just be for writing purposes or putting a picture on it. Then, oops, sorry about that. I guess I forgot to charge my phone. Then I have here a columns pad. I also think I got this. Oh, I got this from Walmart. Again, it's just green and it's columns. It's more of a ledger. So I got this for a different feel. Then I went through a patch of dictionary pages that I actually purchased from, I think it's it's I want to say the Gypsy Sisters, but I can't remember what order. Anyways, I ordered it from Whatnot. I will put a link down below to their site if you want to check it out. But it's obviously just random dictionary pages, so we'll definitely go through this to see if there's anything in there we want. If not, and I want a dictionary page, I actually have 2 dictionaries on hand that we can just go through. Again, just sharing with you different things. And I've acquired this stuff over about 2 years now. This I found at, I believe it was the library sale I did last year, that I went to. This is a jumbo songbook, and again, I just like it for the scale. Now, you're probably gonna think to yourself, Michelle, this is quite too large. It is. So I definitely will have to cut this up and incorporate a portion of it. And it may go in different directions, meaning it's not going to be upright. It might be sideways. That's another thing you have to think about, how you want to create your book. Do you care about the orientation of your paper? Some people do, some people don't. So it's going to be dependent on your preference and how you want to create from it. So these are just things that I pulled. Again, not sure what we're going to use from it, but I want to show you before we get started. Reminiscence book, book 9, which I think is still available on Elizabeth Craft Designs. If not, you want to check other retailers. But this one, I have 2 packs. I have 2 packs of these, so I'm like, why not start using it? I actually gravitated toward this because of the color hues. I thought it would go perfectly with the book. I do have a lot of ephemera pieces in here that I could definitely incorporate, back it on cardstock with the card color that I showed you, and therefore you have the front color, the front portion to be an image, the back to be a journaling spot. So I pulled this just to see if we're going to use anything from it. Like, these flowers are just so pretty. This would be beautiful for a Christmas junk journal. So again, it just had different colors, and I felt like we could go through that. I also have a Peter Rabbit and Friends book that I picked up from a thrift store, so you can definitely see how well loved this one was. I think I got this from Goodwill. And I just thought that I could definitely cut out the pieces here, not use the page per se, because it's kind of like, what do you call it, watermarked. But I felt like, if I wanted to create this as to a bookmark, I could definitely do that, glue it down, and then create the backing to be, again, a journaling spot. Or you could definitely just put a photo, with a caption on it. So the person I'm gifting it to, she's not a crafter. So that's why I have to keep in my mindset that I have to create for the intention of her just placing and journaling. If you're doing this for yourself, obviously you are the crafter, so you probably don't need to elaborate or embellish as much. But I definitely wanted to try sharing that with you on my channel, is the process of embellishing. So that's why we're going to go through that for this journal. This one is a poem. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull from this, but I felt like, why not have everything on hand? Another thing I found, this I brought from Utah, my second picture dictionary, was a school book, but again, it's kid related. But again, you're gonna have the concept that the stuff may be covered, so take that into consideration. But at the same time, if it's not covered and it's just sitting on a shelf as a form of art, you also want to have stuff incorporated that kind of like flows, at least to my thought process. And flowing can be anywhere from the colors to the imagery, the icons, the words, anything of that sort. So I found this one as well that I pulled from my stash. Mother Goose Treasury. I think I got this one at Goodwill in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. Then I like to incorporate sometimes coloring pages, because you never know, you definitely want to color in your junk journal from time to time. You want to make it interactive. So I thought this one was pretty. Again, flowers to kind of give it that feminine touch throughout the book. And you can definitely do a lot with this as well. The next thing I found were some of these happy planner. Now this I got from Hobby Lobby during their clearance run, but I'm sure a lot of people give these to Goodwill, and I'm sure you can find them when you thrift, because you know there's a lot in here, and you're not going to be able to use them all. I guarantee you that. But you know there's 100. I just saw up here 100 of them. So for $3, this is going to last me a very long time. And then the last thing I pulled, which makes it feel like it's forever, a birdsong book that I picked up from a Goodwill in Miami when I visited down there. This actually works. I actually was playing with it. You just basically look for the number on the side here, and it chirps based on the bird of that number. So I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, do I really want to take away the mechanism? And I'm like, no, I kind of like it. You know, it doesn't take up that much space. It just hangs off the shelf on the page. But like, you know, if I wanted to incorporate these beautiful birds, I have like options to choose from in regards to colors, and I would be looking for the colors to complement the book pages. All right, so hopefully that kind of inspired you in regards to what I'm referring to when you're choosing pages. Now, again, I could be going through the motion of choosing my pages, and then all of a sudden I'm not feeling it, and that's totally fine. Sometimes I usually just stop what I'm doing, take a break, and then come back to it, and you kind of like reset your mentality and your brain power starts kicking in again. Or maybe you need a snack break. So understand that when I do these videos, sometimes I'm not sitting the entire time. I will, you know, take a moment, come back, and continue it. This one I did get from Tuesday morning when they were, because I can see the price tag, when they were open. So we're going to go ahead and open this and get started with this collection pack. I do like to work with the collection pack first, because it kind of gives me an idea as to what paper I'm going to build with it. The other thing that I had mentioned in my first video, and I'll mention in this one, there are some pages as we get to the middle portion here that I had to cut off because it had all of the glue gunk. And so eventually we are going to hinge these papers to whatever it's going to match with. At this moment, I didn't hinge them together because I'm not sure where I want to place these. And I want my book to flow, which I do have the numbers at the bottom in pencil, so that way it stays in order. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm actually going to cut this first page off. The reason being is the page on my right hand side is going to be the insert of my spine inside the book, which we haven't done yet, obviously. But I want to cut this off to kind of give it that option. Now, the inside of my book spine was about, I think it was 2.5 inches. And then we had the overhang. I think I measured it out to 4. So I think I'm going to make sure I have at least 4.5 inches, which shows me, if I'm in frame here, that I still have a lot over here. And I'm grateful for that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim it down where I have 1/4 inch left over of that hinge. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm not sure if I need any room to hinge the first paper to something else. And so I want to give myself a little bit of an option there instead of slicing it right on the line. The other thing I've noticed is that when you slice a paper right down the middle, because this was perforated with sewing options, sometimes your, what do you call this? Your slicer, your blade, gets caught. And that's just getting caught on the little ridges of where that needle was sewn into each other. So I find that if I want to avoid getting that, what do you call it, like a break, and it kind of gathers and you're like, great, I just ruined it because now it's thicker and then you got to cut more off. I've learned that going off the line, not on the line, helps to that benefit. So again, I'm just gonna go straight down here. I got an easy glide. This is going to be page 9, so I want to put that in the back. So again, I just kind of keep everything together, and I'm going to move this off my area because we're not going to work on this until probably Friday. So that way it is out of sight and I'm not going to mess with it. So we're going to do the following. Now, I like to start my signature, being the first signature, to have a kind of like an introduction kind of thing where think about when you open a book, you have like a beautiful page, and then you get into the table of contents, you get into the introduction of, you know, who is this book, a dedication. And so you have multiple pages till you start the book. In my mind, that's kind of how I'm creating it, because I'm revamping what I want to interpret. So what I typically do is I will go through the collection, and so this is nice that it has an option on the other side, so I could definitely cover this with something if I wanted to, but for right now I think I'm gonna move this off to the side because I don't want to mess with that. But then we have a beautiful star paper. Oh look, we have the other page. Okay, I think I like that. So this is where I kind of say, okay, I kind of like this side as my first page you're gonna see when you open, so I'm going to put this to the right. And then I'll start thinking I want 4 signatures because I thought I was going to do 5 and I had to reduce the size of my spine, so we're going down to 4. So I want to have the same type of introduction to each signature. So I want to at least have 4 pages that I'm capable of creating as my first page of each signature. And that's kind of like what I do. So I use the collection cardstock because it's thick, because it's beautiful, to be that option. So I'm gonna grab the first one. This one is actually kind of nice, so let's see what it says on the other side. That is pretty too. So I'm not sure if I want to make this one the main second page or the other side, so I'm just gonna go like this for my second one. Oh, we get 2 of everything. All right, I'm gonna put that one to the side. Then this one we have, ooh, we have stars. Okay, so we have star, words, stars. We got a second paper. We have a little buggy bassinet. I don't really like that one as a beginning page, so we're gonna put that to the side. This is the paper that I told you about that I want to cut out. So knowing that, I'm gonna put this one to the side so I don't mess with it, because I don't want it to cut in it and be like, oh crap, I really needed that. This one here has a bunch of cut aparts, and then on the back end it has this. The pros and cons to this is as follows. This one is perfect because it's all upright. So if I were to make this into a signature, cutting it down and only using a portion of this, it wouldn't impede on the fact that I can basically score down the middle, and then this side be one side and this side be the other side on the inside, and this be the front cover. And then you could definitely use this as just little verbiage. The welcome baby here is the only thing that I am wondering what I should do, because usually welcome babies in the beginning, so I'm not sure how I want to incorporate that, but I am going to put that off to the side. We do get stickers, and then we have the second page of the numbers with the green on the other side. So I feel like this one I really can't even use either, so I'm just gonna toss that one off to the side in a different pile. Stickers, we're not ready for embellishing yet. This one, I'm going to toss that one as well. So you can definitely see what I'm trying to do is eliminate the noise, eliminate the options that are not working for me. Now in this situation where I have this option here, I'm thinking that I actually might just use it as its intention. And I'm going to put that one with the numbers. And so I only have 3. So my next question is for myself is, do I bring in a solid paper pack? So you see where I'm getting at is I'm trying to arrange my piles that's going to work for me so I don't get stuck along the way. I'm kind of working in a order of what works. Now I guess I could use this one because this would be the fourth paper. So I don't love this. Does that make any sense? I don't love this. So I'm gonna just think for a moment here. I really like this, but I feel like it's too busy for the front. And remember, we do have the strawberries. So I am thinking as follows. We're going to use all 4, but now I'm thinking we're not going to use the collection as a first page. I think we're going to use this as the first page. And I'm thinking that if we use 1, 2, 3, 4 of these colors, it might work. So here's again, see, as we're talking to each other, even though you can't answer back to me because it's not live. This is where sometimes when you're talking it out, you're able to figure out what's your best angle. Now remember, just because I'm going to use a solid cardstock doesn't necessarily mean that I am going to, it's not going to be pretty, because we are going to embellish it along the way, and we'll embellish it when we get there. But at this moment, we are just going to pull our pages so we can create with it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a green. I kind of feel that this color goes great with this. Let me just take this out. And I'm thinking, as I'm talking to you, if we should do this option. I want to do this beige color because that I think is pretty as well. And even though we're all here about the blues, I'm thinking, what if we did the first signature white, second signature the sage green, third signature the sage green, and the fourth signature the white. I like that. And then what we would be doing is using one of each of these. So then this is how I start working. I have my 4 signature starters, and now I'm gonna look at all of this to figure out my order of where I wanna put them. So I really like this It's a Boy to go with the first signature. So here we go as the first signature. The second signature is going to be the green. And again, these are not in paper order. I'm just pulling from what I like. And so I feel that, I feel that we're going to do the green and the blue. That's going to be our second signature. So I know there's not a lot of space on here. And then we're going to do this one and this one as our third. And I'm just trying to keep them in order. I don't want to use those paper clips because they made a mark on my book. So I'm going to try to do this as best as I can. All right. So now we have our 3. You know what? Let's move this out of the way, because it's interrupting. It's interrupting us. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 signatures, and my nails can't get underneath it. Thank you. Jeez Louise. Here we go. All right. So we have, where's the other green? We'll just go like this. So now we have our 4 signatures done with the paper. So far we have 2 sheets. I like to do at least 12, but take into consideration when you do 12, it makes it thicker. But I feel like we have the room. So I'm going to put this off to the side because I don't know if we're going to need any more of this paper. So I'm just going to drop it on the floor. That's the noise that you heard. And then we're going to then go through the next thing. Let's see what we can do with the dictionary pages. If there's anything in here that says, let's add you. I usually grab dictionary pages that are pertaining to the topic at hand. Like if we're doing B for boy, we're doing family, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should just grab my own dictionary pages, because I'm not sure if any of these are going to have what I need now that I'm talking out loud. But you can kind of see some of the stuff you never know when you get packages, but it's also the coloring that you're looking at. So now that I'm talking out loud to you guys about this, I think I'm just gonna go and grab my own dictionary and go through that. So give me one quick second. Okay, so I went ahead and got this new college dictionary that I have. I think I found this at a thrift store. So let's first see if we even have the ones that I'm looking for, because when you pull from things, you don't know what definitions you're actually getting. So let's see if I can quickly so BOY. Oops, grabbed too many pages. Boy, so it is on this page. So we're just going to take my X-Acto knife. What I try to do is I go as close to the inside as possible. This is a very sharp one, so hopefully that just came right out. And I don't care about all the raggedy stuff. So we'll do B for boy for the first one. Let's do, where's F? A, B, C, D, E, F. Oh, I have to go further. So we want family. It's funny, when you were in school, we always had to use dictionaries to look things up for definitions. And nowadays, I'm sure a kid doesn't even know how to look up a dictionary or even know what it is. Kind of like, you know, the whole concept about yellow pages, right? Back in the day. Of course, I went too far. Here we go. Family. So it is on this side. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. So that is my second definition. So again, what I'm doing, I'm just pulling the same information, same papers for each signature. So it is cohesive, but it's different. So you have boy, family. I doubt that his name will be in here, but let me see if I can find it. H-I. I don't think they would have names in books, right? You never know. Let's just check. Oh, we could find Bunny, because there's Bunny on here. Oh my God. They have his name. So, well, it's a form of his name. We're just going to pull it. So his name starts with a J, so we're going to pull that. And then what did I say? So we have boy, family. Oh, let's do love. Let's see if love's in here. Although I was making books for Valentine's Day, so I don't know if I have love in here. But, you know, you do love your kids, so let's see if I do still. L-O-V. Here we go. Love. Okay. So those are our four, and this blade is sharp. Those are our 4 dictionary pages. Okay. So we're done with this book. The fun part is pulling all the books, and then the nasty job is putting them all back. Like, where did you find them at? So we have this one. I'm just going to put behind this paper. So we have that one there. This one behind number 2, family. So this is pretty much the process of what I do whenever I'm working on my signatures, because I feel like it keeps me in line. It keeps a organized platform and goes from there. So the next thing, and you kind of want to work with the easiest things, in my opinion, is ledgers. So we can pull, we're just going to pull 4 ledgers out, because again, we can put these in different ways. And that way, she has a place to write, to put a photo, and that kind of stuff. I feel like if you're trying to complicate yourself, you're going to pull 1 page from every book. I think that will take you a very long time, and you might lose the fun out of it. I mean, I could be wrong, but why complicate your craft? Why complicate the fun you want to have? So to me, the fun is embellishing. But I feel like there's a little bit of fun throughout the entire process. Depends on, you know, like choosing your paper. Then you choose your paper, where to place it. You can place them in all different orders. You can have the dictionary first in this one, third in this one, seventh in this one. Like, it doesn't have to be specific. Next one I'm gonna pull is the writing page. Again, I got this from the Dollar Tree. It's in the office supply section. So again, I don't mind the raggedness because that makes it unique. But I'm just going to pull 4 of them. And again, do the same thing. So I have 4, and then this goes off my table. So again, out of mind, you already finished what it was, and I'm just going to put them behind each one. So now we're gonna get to the other books, the other pages in those books that I told you about, that I pulled. And again, I'm not putting them in any specific order, I'm just putting them in a process. So let's go to the bird songs. And I'm just gonna kind of fan it. I don't necessarily am going to go page by page. I feel like if I did that, I would be here forever. So I'm already noticing I have 4 different colors. So let's make it simple. We're just gonna pull a random page from each color group. So, oh, look what I landed on. We're gonna pull this one. Like, that's how random it is. And that's gonna go in one. Then the next one was that yellow. I landed on this one. I think I'm gonna choose this one on the left side. Now, these do have the pokey things, but I'm not gonna do that process in this because the book is small. So I'm just actually gonna just pull it out. Okay, that's my second one. We want 2 more. We're gonna pull from the green. Ooh, that's so pretty. So I'm just gonna, let's see if I can just cut it from there. No, did not work. All right, there we go. So that was 3, and then from the blue, ooh, these are pretty. We're gonna pull this one. I think if I go this way, it'll come out faster. This thing is sharp. So you see, it's not going to be perfect. If you wanted that to be perfect, then you definitely can get your trimmer out, because again, this book is small, so it's not going to be ideal. Now for right now, I'm just putting them in each signature, but I can rearrange my papers when I start creating from them. So this video might be a little bit longer than an hour because I don't want to leave you hanging after we grab all our papers. I do want to show the whole process with you on this. So we're gonna grab again from this one. I thought it was really pretty with the florals. So this one's gonna be very simple and easy. It's just a matter of grabbing. Now this does have a glue marker on it, so it's just pulling from the thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, done with this one. So you can kind of see how quickly the process can go, but you also can be at a roadblock, meaning, oh, this wasn't something that I was feeling, this is not really going. But I want to tell you to trust the process, because you just don't know. And you know, I realized I didn't know how many pages I was counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're at 7. All right, let's do the coloring book. So I want to have a coloring page out of each one. So I think this one's pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. Man, that was a good investment. So we have 1. Oh, this one's pretty. two. Ooh, this one's two. We have, I think, oh, we have butterflies in ours. Let's see if I can find a butterfly. No. Oh, we found the butterfly. Because it would kind of be cool to put that in our book. So this one's 3, and then we just need one more. I mean, that one's cool. We'll just grab this one. So this coloring book I did pick up from Five Below. They have a lot of good, not Five Below, I'm so sorry. From Ollie's, didn't I? Yes, Ollie's. I find that their coloring books are very similar in nature as to Five Below. I think that's why I thought of it. Oh, this one has this on the back. Okay, I'm not going with that one. I don't like that kind of stuff. I want to have like this stuff on the back. There's another one with butterflies. Oh, this one's with a bird to go with our birds. So I'm kind of tying everything in as I am going through the papers, if that makes any sense. All right, so we're done with this one. We got 4. So again, just putting them, feel like we're in office or just organizing our papers in a filing option. And then there we go. And then we're going to, let's see, let's do some, so that's 8. So this one's number 9. So Jumbo Songbook. Now, when we're dealing with songs, I sometimes try to pay attention to the song itself if there's words in here. So My Old Kentucky Home, she doesn't live in Kentucky, so I might save that for a make in Kentucky. Star Spangled Banner if I wanted to do a 4th of July. So I'm just trying to make sure that if I'm choosing something with words on it. Ooh, look, Melody of Love. Okay, and then it has nothing on this other side. So I'm going to pull this one. And let's see, if the next page over doesn't have anything, it says Over the Waves. That's probably a beachy theme. So again, this one I do take a little bit time with, because you don't want to put something in a book that's not intended or offensive to something. So Beautiful Dreamer is pretty. Let's do that one. So that's the only thing I do recommend if you're working on the poetry or songs or something of that nature. Definitely just at least glance at the content, because I would hate for you to make something if you're reselling it or gifting and you didn't realize something was said in a song, words, or the title, and then, you know, it just offends somebody, and you don't, that wasn't your intent. But what child is this? Okay. We wish you a Merry Christmas. No. Up on the housetop. Oh, little children, joy to the world. Good Christian men rejoice. God rest. Deck the halls. Okay, I think I got into Christmas section. Let's go. Oh, that one said birthday. Darting Clementine. I saw one that said birthday and I closed it. Okay. Well, let's go from the beginning, because I think I would have... Shall we gather? Never. I feel like it's just on the left side is the names of the titles. You could always shave off the titles, which I could do, but then you would have the words, if there's words, all through the night. I think this one is okay, so I'm gonna take this one out. And I just need one more. Home on the Range. That would be good for a cowboy one. America the Beautiful. America. A lot of 4th of July options in here. I married a wife. It's weird of a song. All right, going in the wrong direction here, Michelle. Juanita. Whispering hope. What a friend we have in Jesus. Were you there? Swing low. All right, guys, I know you don't want to watch me go through all of these, but this is the part that could bog you down with time, because you definitely want to make sure that you're grabbing something that is true, like I mentioned earlier. Let's do one more. Oh, look, I love you truly. Perfect. Wedding march. Okay, never mind. Ay, ay, ay. Up on the housetop. Sorry, my dog is sleeping and she's obviously dreaming because you can hear her. Sorry for that extra noise in your ears if you're listening with earbuds. All right, guys. Going to... Oh, look. Old MacDonald had a farm. Old King Cole. We can go with that one. That one's perfect. All right. So now we are done with this one. And that would make it number 9. So this is where you want to figure out if you want to... I think we're going to do Old MacDonald on this side. This is when you're going to want to figure out, do you need more pages? And the only way to know that is if we need to fold them. So that is where we're going to do right now, because I don't want to take up too much of your time to figure all this stuff out. So like I mentioned, we have our signatures already in packs. So here, I'm just going to stack them. We're going to do with number 1 first. And I'm going to put these in a way that I can grab them. And then if we need more, we have the dictionary, we have the poetry, and we have the other paper pad that I shared with you. So this is where we're gonna figure out how we want our pages to go. Okay, so after we selected all our pages, I think we chose about 9 plus the actual book pages. So you gotta take that into consideration as well. That's gonna add to your bulk. All right, so we're using an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So we know we're gonna fold it in half, but we are gonna be too tall, right? Because our height is 6 3/4. So if we go on the height portion, so we're gonna flip it over to the other side, and we're gonna go 6 3/4, we're gonna see that we have this little lip here. So what I do with my first page is I actually create pockets. So you're gonna need a bone folder. And so I'm just gonna basically go straight down the middle. I do use my cutting trimmer to do this. You can use another score board, which I have, but it's just too many products on my desk, and I just want to eliminate as much of the mess as possible. So I kind of do it like this. So I first score the bottom portion to get the height where I want it to be. Let me see how I can maneuver this so it's easier for all of us to see everything. Okay, here we go. Let me see. There, zoomed out as much as I can. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go up on this and I'm gonna score. I'm going to take my bone folder side and I'm gonna basically score that down. And then when I fold it, I know that 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. So this is obviously gonna be shorter than what I want, and I'm just gonna have to accept it. When I go down the middle, I now have created this little thing here. Now, you have 2 options here. You can work with the bulk that we're gonna have when we fold it, or you can reduce the bulk. I like to reduce the bulk. So what I end up doing is now I open this up. I can see my indentation, which you probably can slightly see, and I'm gonna make an upside down V. So I'm just gonna go in to where that meets on both sides, and I am just gonna create an upside down V. Now sometimes it doesn't come off, so you just pull it off. And then what I did was I removed the bulk because I'm gonna fold this in because I want the front and the back of this signature to not have any pockets. It's when you open it, you have the pocket. Okay, so that's my intention. If you wanted the pocket to be on the front, by all means. But this is a little tiny of a pocket, but it's mainly just to put like tags or maybe, you know, his ID bracelet from the hospital, like whatever you kind of want. I will be putting ribbon on the side, so this will be sewn up, but this portion here would be open to allow you to have that option there. Okay, so again, I just folded it on the crease. Of course, for some weird reason, it's a little wonky. I don't know what is up with the measurements here, but this would be page 1. So now the next thing I want to do is figure out what I'm going to put afterwards. So I am going to see if you can see what I'm doing, but I don't have enough. Let me see if I can raise you guys higher. So you can kind of see this off to the left side of your screen. I'm going to be placing things on top of that. So this next thing here is the dictionary, which I believe has the word boy. It's here on the top. That's very important. You want to know where it's at because you want that obviously to be visible in your book. So the next thing you're going to do is figure out how tall this is. And it's 6.5, which is our height, right? 6 3/4. So it's below that. So we're actually going to have this go in an opposite direction, but I want the word boy to be forward, not being front, not being back. So what I then want to do is, do I want to fold this in half or do I want to offset it where I have a smaller portion in the front and bigger portion in the back? And this is what I mean. This obviously is not the same length as the 8.5 by 11 sheet, so it's obviously shorter. If I fold it in half like this, and I don't want to fold it, but if I fold it in half like this, then it would be inside both. But I can slightly go this way and have it where it is now the same length as one of the sides, where this one's actually shorter. And I kind of like the variety of page sizing because I feel like it kind of gives it dimension, character, and fun. So to me, that's what I'm gonna do. So if I want this side to be your 5.5, which I know is that one side, I'm gonna go to the 5.5 marker here, and I feel like this is not straight, so let's go to the straight edge. Go to the 5.5, and because this page is very frail, remember that, you're basically just lightly, when I say lightly, very lightly, you're gonna put that indentation where you want it. And it's very, very light. I don't even know if you can see it on the camera, but that just kind of gauges me as to where I want that to go. Where did it go? There it is. And so I am going to kind of like crease it there, make sure it's straight on that straight edge, and then carefully just go straight down. Now remember, I wanted boy to be front and center. So I'm going to make sure that when it goes in my book, it's going to go there. Now it is overhang, and that's fine because remember I said 6 inches in my length was really what I had to work with, but at least I know that it's going to look like that. So now is my next page. So now the thing is, do I want to add a book page? So if I add a book page, I'm going to be adding this one. Now remember, it already has a crease in it, but this is page 1. So I'm going to now insert it into my book. So if right now you basically have your front page, I have my book, my dictionary page, and now I have the storyline. Now this doesn't have to be set in stone because as we're making more, I'm probably going to change things around because I like a flow. And if it doesn't flow, something bothers me, I'm going to move it around. So for right now, this is what it's looking like. Okay, I'm going to put that up there on the left. So now we have this next one. So again, the same thing. You can turn this is a little thicker, so we can have flips and flaps. So I made on the right side of my page, the 5.5. So I'm gonna work on making this side my 5.5. Now this is where you wanna figure out, do you want it upright? Do you want it the other way? It's really your decision. I like working like this. I like keeping the holes. If you want to take off the holes, you would definitely slice those off. But I'm just realizing height. So we need to bring this down to 6 3/4. So I might actually take the bottom off because I definitely want to keep the circles. I think they're cool. So I'm just going to take this off and I'm just going to save these on my scraps because you never know, you may need them. And so I want this to be my front. So I want this to be my 5.5. So I'm going to go to 5.5. No, I want it to be 6. I want my 6 and then I'm going to score on this one. So I'm just going to score straight down and then I'm going to fold over on that score line. And this is pretty much how you create it. So now this is going to go here. And if we close it, you see how this is sticking out. And that's okay. Because again, we're going to make more options. Oh, I forgot. We have these. So let's do this one. Let's make it blue. So here we go. We're going to put this one as one of our pages. So this is my hinge. So it's going to leave open. What I do with my envelopes is I am going to actually cut this off because I find that cutting this portion off allows for the insert of whatever I put in here, a tag or an envelope, to have more mobility than if it was on there, because now I don't have to worry about the tag fitting in where that hinge is. Okay, so now when I hinge this in and this is sewn in, there's nothing here impeding my way to go in. So I kind of removed that obstacle. Okay. All right, so we're gonna keep going. So now we have here is all through the night. I don't really care for the wordage, but we're gonna see what works. So this way again is 9 inches almost. I want more flips and flaps and I'm not getting that. All right, so I want this side to be wider and this side can go in. So sometimes I'm not even using, so if I want this to go in, I want to create a little pocket on the side. I am going to just crease this, and now I want to fold in. So let's see what 6 inches gives us. Is this the right side to do it, or is this side? I always want to make sure I'm going on the straight edge because then I have the capability of what do you call it? Making sure it's a straight line when I'm scoring, because a lot of times these pages, when we cut them, they're not coming out of the book right. All right, so this is what I'm going to take this here. I haven't cut anything down yet. So if I turn this into a pocket, I feel like it's too wide of a pocket. Because, well, I guess not, right? You have that, and then this side. Trying to figure out what I want to do. So if we drop this down, okay, because I've done this before. We can do this way. Okay, so I did the crease and I'm gonna stick to my crease. 6 3/4 is our height. So I am now gonna score it. I'm not gonna cut it, score it, okay? And then I want my pocket to go this way. Now, you're still like, but Michelle, you just did that whole flappy thing. Okay, don't worry about it. We're gonna do some surgery here. All right, so I'm gonna go on the inside slightly, and I'm just gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna go on the inside slightly. And it's not a perfect line, but that's okay. So this side is gonna have a side pocket, and this side is going to have a pocket like this. So you see it has different formats. I do feel like this is too long. No, it's not. But I don't know, I just don't like all that white space. We're just gonna shave a little bit off. I don't know why. I just felt like the need to shave that off. All right, so that is going to be that option. And I feel like this is fine. It's not creating enough bulk because I didn't go in, I went out. So now I'm gonna just take my bone folder and I'm just gonna make sure those creases are there, okay? So this is gonna now live in here. So what I'm basically doing, and hopefully you've caught on to this, is I kind of went like a seesaw, right? So you open it up and you have a pocket, you have, you know, a paper, you have the story, you have a ledger, you have an envelope. We can add another page to the story. So you see this where you're going in and out. Now I'm adding this, so I have another pocket because another flap. We're gonna close those off with glue, and then you have another pocket because I'm gonna close this off with glue, and then you turn it over, another pocket. So I'm providing interactive options. Now, when you get to the center, because I feel like this one has to go to the next page because this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This might have to go on the third signature. I mean the second signature. Now we get to the center of the page and we still have all this paper, okay? We still haven't done anything with it. So this is when you're kind of figuring out what to do and where's your center. I find that we should probably do the center to be this cute little birdie. And I feel like we're gonna have to chop some of it off, but it's okay. And I feel we want to go upright with it. So this is when we're going to, let's see. So I'm going to take a little bit, we have to get 6 3/4. So if I cut where the bottom of this is at, and then I go this way and go to 6 3/4, I'm not getting a lot of the imagery gone. The next thing is you probably want to clean up this side just so it's more visual aspect. And now we are going to meet in the middle, meet on the edges, down the middle, and this is going to be my center. And now, knowing this is my center, I might do that for every single signature because this is so pretty. You could definitely color it, right? And I want that to be my middle. So I know that's my middle. I'm going to leave that right there. But I have all this other stuff to play with. So I'm going to wrap up this video with the first signature. I'm going to do the rest off camera because I feel like if I just sit here doing all the signatures with you, literally it would be another 3 hours. And I know you don't have time for 3 hours. So I was hoping to keep these little dots here, but it's not working because I really want the flowers. So sorry about that. So I'm actually going to have to cut those off. So I'm going to go to 6 3/4 because that is our height. And there go all those little thingies, which will have to be for each and every one of them. And then let's see, how long is this paper? Okay, so I want the notes to be visible. We're going to put this one. All right, so we're going to just wing it because sometimes you can do that. It's allowed. Not everything has to be measured. All right, so we have that, and I want that to be like this. I don't know if you guys can see it, so I put it like this. Again, we have more. So this is blank, perfect for journaling. All right, let's grab this one here so we can have more journaling. And I feel like we can do flips and flaps with this because how long is it? Ooh, it's 12. We're just gonna fold it in half. Just fold it in half. Why not? And then I'm gonna open it up and put that in there. We still haven't even used the collection paper, believe it or not. This one, I want this to be in the middle, but I don't want the duck's head to be decapitated. So I'm looking for the middle point. So by knowing what I want as my middle, then I'll work with the outside edges. And so I kind of want these to have like a duck on each side. So it'll be like that. And now I'm going to put this in here and see, do I have to cut anything down? And I don't. I literally can just leave it just like this. This bothers you at the top, by all means, just shave it. It's okay. Now it is perfect. So now that's gonna go in my thing in the middle, and then we get to this page. Now this one I'm gonna make into a pocket again because I feel like a mom needs pockets to put things, you know, memorabilia or, you know, cards or something like that. I mean, not every card has to go in here, but you know, you have Mother's Day and you have you know, your welcoming of your baby and stuff like that. So I'm going to take off the barcode at the bottom, and I am going to then realize I need the height to be 6 3/4, and I am going to score. So that is my height on this side. And now the question is, where am I going to have the flip up? Because if I do it where this goes down, It's a Boy is going to be upside down. So if I go this way, then it's just going to be the stars. And that's kind of what I want. Does it matter if your things are upside down? Absolutely not. But I just look at it like that. Now the next thing you're going to think about is how high, how tall do you want your pocket to be? I think 2.5 inches is fair, given that this is 6 3/4. So if I put this at the 2.5 inch marker, then that is about 9 1/4 of where I want my height of the full 12 by 12 to be. 9 1/4. And then I am going to chop that off. Save it. You never know when you need it. Okay. Now remember, this is a 12 by 12 sheet of paper and we want 6 inches. So I am going to open this up and then I am going to score it right down the middle, and we're going to do the same thing we did on the first page. So where your little indentation meets, we're going to make an upside down V. So we're just going to go straight to that corner edge and then take this portion off. And again, we have this, and everything is going to be sewn, so I'm not too worried about anything. All right, and I'm gonna fold this in. If you wanted to do it the other way, you could. It really depends on you. There's no right or wrong way. Actually, let's see which way we did the other one. I tried to do everything like a little bit of an opposite. Okay, we did it on the outside. So this one's on the inside. And then the next thing, oh wait, is this too tall? It is too tall, guys. And then we have this one as our middle. Why is that one too tall? No one said anything. All right, we got to go back to this one. This has to be 6 3/4 in height. So we see that there's not a lot of wording on this, so I'm just going to shave off the bottom there. So 6 3/4. Again, don't throw anything away yet. And so this is going to go here. So our first signature is done. How do you feel? It only took us an hour and 10 minutes, but I was talking for the first 15. But anyways, so we have our first page here. We open it. We have our dictionary page. Then we have our first page. It says, I love you, little one. Then we have our ledger. Then we have our envelope. Then we have our next page of our book, We have some music paper. We have some notes. We have a writing page. We have a little duck. We have a collection sheet with a pocket, and then we have our coloring page, and then it repeats to go to the other side. So this being our first signature kind of gives us everything. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ends up being 12 pages. So we don't really need the other books that I pulled. So again, they're just there for right now, but we could definitely use them for ephemera pieces if we want. So giving this is our first signature, this kind of gives us a concept going forward. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to do the other 3 signatures that we pulled the paper for. Very similar to what I did here. And like I indicated, the only differences of changes could be made is that your paper placement can be placed in different spots. Your folds can be done differently. Even though it feels like it's mundane because it's the same paper, you definitely can change it up with different things. So definitely think about that when you're choosing your pages for your book. And not only that, remember, we're going to embellish it. And the embellishing portion is going to change the look of your book. So don't fret. This is just, again, the beginning of it. It's kind of blank canvas kind of concept, but it's going to get even better. So any questions on anything of this video, please let me know. I will be back on Friday with all of the signatures done. And then we're gonna, before we put them in our book, we're really going to see what embellishing we want to do, whether that's stamping, die cutting, ribbon. So it's probably gonna be another hour video, but you definitely want to gather that kind of stuff, so that way you have that prepared. Unless you're just watching me for notes, that's totally fine too. And if there's any feedback you want to give me in regards to information that I've given or not given in these videos, I am totally open for that. Because I'm more of liking to inform you guys of things, mainly because I want you in my head, but not be in my head kind of thing. I want you to be in your own head, but understand where I'm coming from when I show you things. So anyways, I will see you on Friday. Have a great rest of your week till then. And yeah, I'll see you in the comments down below. So take care. Bye.